Just as a general matter, Democrats keep shooting themselves in the foot. But here to make sure the bullets stick, Rachel Campos-Duffy, co-host of Fox and Friends Weekends and host of Fox Noticias.
Oh, my God. I'm going to have to give you a Spanish lesson.
Noticias.
Noticias.
Noticias. That was not bad. And Mark Simone, WOR radio host. That was way too easy. Speaking of Spanish speaking, you and Pam Bondi want to bust, what is it, Nicolas Maduro, the thug, dictator, murdering head of Venezuela living in Caracas. Can you get him? Can you get him? Is a $50 million bounty enough?
Well, the walls are closing in, so there's a lot of things Donald Trump did. He said cartels are terrorist organizations, and he actually is the ringleader of all of them, so he's a narco-terrorist dictator. Then they cut off the license for Chevron, which was a lot of money was supporting that regime, and he supports Maduro. Other regimes. He's helping Cuba. He's helping Nicaragua. So
he's a drug smuggler.
He's a drug smuggler, human smuggler. And now this $50 million reward. The walls are closing in. The opposition leader, Maria Corina Machado, who is, I call her the bravest woman in all of Latin America. I had her on Jesse Waters last night. I was guest hosting for Jesse. And I have never seen them both more hopeful, but also she doesn't like to admit it. This is a very dangerous period of time for her because she is a once-in-a-lifetime political figure like Trump is. She is. And so I personally fear for her life. She's been in hiding. She came to us from an undisclosed location. Her family has been dispersed out of the country.
You know, the last guy we tried to help, the guy he was the Speaker of the Assembly or whatever it's called. This was in the first term.
Guaido?
Guaido. He had to flee to Colombia.
Yes.
He had to flee to. I remember Mike Pence going down there trying to rescue the poor guy.
He's not the same as her. She is a force of nature. The country loves her, and I'll tell you, if they can get him enough pressure to have him just say, "Give me my money, I'll get out of the country," I think there's going to be a peaceful transition. Now, the other guy, Gonzalez, there's another candidate that had to run instead of her.
Can I just give you some friendly advice as somebody who got his head knocked around pretty good in this? You got to get rid of the Cuban secret police.
Correct.
That run that.
Correct. But here's, can I say something, Larry?
Can I go to Washington, D.C.?
Wait, one more thing.
Rachel.
If Venezuela falls, if Maduro falls, so Cuba will fall. Ooh. Nicaragua will fall. They're all dependent on the money coming. It's a domino effect. This would be Donald Trump's greatest legacy, cleaning up the Western Hemisphere and putting America in charge.
And Mike Wirth can get his Chevron oil gears geared up again. But here, you know, Trump put law and order in Washington, D.C., and even liberals, your friends, admit that there is trouble in River City and that, in fact, there's a law and order safety problem. And even though they may not like Trump, they agree with this whole thing. He's taking it over. And incidentally, they are losing their sanctuary city status along with federalizing the cops.
Well, only a small pocket of liberals agree with it. Joe Scarborough, Chris Matthews, who's warning Democrats, you're falling into a bear trap he set for you. One of Trump's great talents is bringing out the absolute worst in his enemy. you know, you talk about these 80-20 issues. This is a 99-1 issue.
Right. So Scarborough on the one, or which one's he on?
He's one of the few, because most of that show, the staff is in D.C., so they've been victims of all
Why
this.
is it the Democrats always fall for this hook, line, and sinker? The usual, you know. I mean, here, Mamdani the commie, for example. He doesn't want to really end the police department. He just wants to transfer, I don't know, 20, 30% of the resources to the social workers, okay? What don't they understand about crime, law and order, the lack of public safety, how you can't go to work in the morning for a job or get your kid educated? What don't they understand?
First thing is, he's never talked to these social workers. Go talk to them. They don't want to answer 911
You know,
calls.
I've interviewed domestic violence victims on Fox and Friends, and they're like, listen, if a social worker had turned up instead of the cops, I'd be dead right now. So the women don't want that either. I think one thing that's not being talked enough about is the role of George Soros. He's the one funding all the supposed protests against Donald Trump in D.C. It's all fake.
And you'll see at some point probably that some Soros-type money ended up financing Mamdani and similar candidates in other races. So.
I was going to say, okay, and by the by, this is right now going into Alaska, this is the ultimate Russiagate, but we'll have to say that for completely different. This is Russiagate to the ninth power. Only Trump's going to win this one.
It was collusion to frame a guy for collusion.
All right. Mark Simone, racial composition.